Presenting now is Dr. Chinedu Nathan Osinigwe. He is an indigene of Nnewi South in Anambra State. He started his music career as an organist/choir master for a few Anglican churches within the Lagos metropolis from 1998 till date. He obtained his academic qualifications from the University of Lagos, bagging a Bachelor of Art, Music 2008, Masters of Arts, Theory and Composition 2009, and Doctor of Philosophy, Theory and Composition 2016 respectively. Dr. Osinigwe lectures at Ajayi Crowther University, Oyo, and he has to his credit several academic articles published in reputable online journals. He has several musical compositions and arrangements and a vast collection of self-composed hymns and chants. He is a musicologist whose musical compositions and arrangements exhibit elements of African motifs and idioms, especially as engendered within its performative context, and also for pedagogy. He remains a strong advocate for the development and reenactment of African classical/art music in all its ramifications, employing indigenous, religious, and popular themes for ethnic and cultural representation. Dr. Osinigwe is an ethnomusicologist and composer. He blends tradition with innovation, weaving vibrant Igbo folk songs that celebrate love and joy. He will be presenting Impact of Igbo satiric songs on politics in Nigeria, Perspectives of Umuobieze Singing Group.
Thank you very much. The time is fast spent and people are tired, but I will see how I can be fast. Now, satire is an area of poetry, and this study hinges on that to see how music and satire is used to, interrogate the political landscape in Nigeria, especially from a group that consequential people do not know them. For example, they are called the visually impaired people. And see, through their music, they are able to comment, they are able to interrogate the happenings within the political landscape in Nigeria. So, okay, all right. We're going to go to the background. Well, this paper was better through the interactions I have with because I used to work at an institution called Frank Crown Center for the Blind, which is under Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja, and we rehabilitate the visually impaired people. We train them to acquire skills and every other thing. And then long before I left and went into lecturing, and only one day he called me and said, "Sir, is there a way you can propagate our music because we are trying to, make ourselves known?" And I said, what kind of music? He said, well, we are just a group of 4 people. We carry our, this means a minstrel kind of group. We go into the market, we sing. But what amazed me when he sent their videos, in fact, it was amazing what they were doing with their music. Before we go to that, that's the background to how this. So he said, please, if there's a way you can say, well, I'm a lecturer. The only way I can propagate is just to write about it. And that's where we are now, trying to, bring them to fore about what their music is and how they interrogate our political landscape. Now, this is the introductory part. We are usually talking about folk music because that is the instrument they are using. They sing in Igbo. Sometimes they mix with this Nigerian pidgin English. We got to reach out to the audience. And then, being a satiric song, it connotes this kind of comedy, this kind of exaggeration where, the stories they tell, though they are saying the truth, but they make it look so funny. And so that was what caught my interest. Looking at Igbo folks, that is my area. We'll talk about Igbo folk song as there are three key characteristics of Igbo folk songs. The orality of it, so simple, and communal ownership. And then we look at the different types of how it functions, educative, birth, lullaby, and so on. Now, the gap is, we've seen a lot of advocacy songs, especially the last one that happened, that was the name of the tag, NSAS. And we saw a lot of Nigerian artists, singing all manner of protest songs to really criticize the activities of the police in Nigeria. And so we have people like Abdul Karim, who has, so at several times, he has Nigerian Jaga Jaga, Nigerian Do, he has done so much. But these people have been, they've come up, scholarly attention has been given to them, but these visually impaired people, nobody even, has seen them, has even recognized what they are doing. And then this is my little way of bringing them to this kind of platform. So for people to know them. Now, this research, the methodology, we use the descriptive method in presenting and analyzing the musical samples. The primary data, well, like I said, he gave me, the name of that, the guy is Isaac Promise. He used to be my student when I was in NFCB. That was the acronym for that place. And so these are the songs that was selected for analysis. In the course of it, we'll play them and see how they were used to criticize the government. Now, the theoretical framework, we used the social criticism, where we are, we have three elements of the framework: the critical criticism, the literary ones, and then the social criticism in music, which is where we anchored our own framework, to analyze some of the musical samples selected. Now, you can see that these are the research design, and the song select Okoro-Awusa, Obodo, adigo-ime, and then Nigeria Kagonka. And so in the course of we'll see what those songs are. These are the designs that we employed in trying to analyze some of the samples collected. So this is the group of singers. They are called Umuobieze. Umuobieze, meaning children from the court of the king, or children from the royal family. And so theirs is to interrogate critical issues within the country, issues that borders on politics and governance. And then these are the members of the group. And these are things they do. They perform at market squares, singing and playing instruments simultaneously. Instead of calling them blind people, we call them visually impaired, because they say calling them blind people is derogatory. And so the right term is to call them what? Visually impaired persons. And so these are what they engage in. And then so because we are looking at satirical statement, what they were saying, and the meaning in the context where it was said, and how it was directed to maybe people or the situations that warranted those kind of comments. You can see in Okoro-Awusa, it was called about, they were talking about Okoro-Ocha, of the former governor of Imo State, and what he did during his administration. One time, Governor of Imo State comments on his controversial policies and governance, including unpaid pensions, half salaries, and family. Then Obodo, adigo-ime, meaning the country is pregnant. You can see that is an exaggerated statement. Criticizing the president's frequent medical travels to Europe. How Oshibajo will be in Abuja. Then president Buhari was gallivanting. No, so those kind of things were things they were interrogating. And then you have Nigeria Kagonka. Nigeria Kagonka, which is this country is a bit old. It's getting old. Talking about when politicians says the youth are the leaders of tomorrow, and you find them still seated in governance, not going. Babangida is a youth. Buhari is a youth, and so those kind of comments you hear them sing there. So that's the as promise. This guy here used to be my student. All right, so that's the first song, Okoro-Awusa. Like I told you, these are the issues they were talking about. 4 years pension freezes. Workers were paid half salary. Over 1,000 civil servants were dismissed. He had a lot of his family members in the cabinet. And then he sees himself as the saint, the angel that God sent to help them. I know there was this other controversial issue where he said, if you've not done this image of yourself, there you need to come. You've not started there. He were carving images of persons, and then it was like a big state project where you have a lot of people not paid, pensions not paid. So this they use in the markets where when they were singing it, you could see people laughing, but they were saying the truth and interrogating the policies of the present government. Now, these are the things they were talking about represented here. When he passed a bill that all women, please go and be getting pregnant. We need more children. You can see it. And then he was, having all workers being paid half salary. So that is Okoro-Awusa. The next one is the one, Nigeria Kagonka. Obodo adigo-ime, sorry. The country is pregnant. So, Obodo adigo-ime, what does it mean? It means this country is pregnant with a lot of, you can see, as a pregnant woman articulating social instability and collective uncertainty. Like I said, we had a lot of tourism from our president because of health. Then the vice president will be in Abuja, while we had a touring president. So such commentaries were what they were trying, to voice out through their own means, through their own little. And then the last one is Obodo adigo-ime. Obodo Kagonka. Yeah, Nigeria means Nigeria is bedwetting. So a country bedwetting means that the thing they are even defecating uncontrollable. So these are things they were using, the satirical comments, to express their displeasure at what is happening in the political landscape. All right, so just want to be fast. So you can see the analysis. Nigeria bedwetting and defecating uncontrollable, a metaphor for what? Uncontrolled national dysfunction, exposes the contradiction between youths as leaders and the reality of political sit-tight syndrome. You still have it now. At least we still have old, persons being our president with the lip service of Nigerian. Youth are the leaders of tomorrow. But I've not seen any youth. No, so now they use humor and ridicule to critique the perpetual rule of elderly politicians and the failure of succession. So these songs were able to, to comment and to criticize within the market square, making their music to advocate for a better governance, advocate for better treatment of the masses from the government. You can see the Nigeria, you can see old politicians, 70 to 90 years, sarcastically called youth. You see, a youth. That's a youth, and you can see those who are youth now that are ruling us. And so that's the discussion of findings. See, the use of that satirical statement, use the symbolic technique, nicknames and irony, exaggerations. These are tools that were deployed to interact or to comment on the. Then you can see the socio-political commentary, where everyday life was a bit of a hardship to people, healthcare, nothing is working. So these are their ways, or the ways they felt they can express themselves, and then that music also portrays the cultural identity of the Igbo because of the language they use and the kind of musical forms they adopted in expressing this. So now, conclusion. Minstrel music is an indigenous communicative platform for political engagement, not just entertainment. Satire exposes contradictions in governance, critiques public institutions, and communicates communal frustration. So now, how are we contributing to scholarly contributions? We are doing that through the foregrounding of underexplored indigenous music practice. As I said, these people are visually impaired, and they're able to use their voice to, to comment and discuss the political. And then it contributes to ethnomusicology and their political communication, shows indigenous tradition, not just popular genre, as vital sites of political discourse. Well, these are the limitations we have. Where we are limited to 3 songs, and we know that we have other groups within the other ethnic entities. We may, but we can't. The scope of this research can't take everything. We're looking at future research directions. We can have other people, do this from the Yoruba, the Hausa, and other. Then examine how listeners interpret and are influenced by these satirical performances. Then the digital media circulation. Investigate how indigenous traditions circulate and gain political resonance in the digital age. And so that is how we'll come to the end of this discourse. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So I had to be fast because of time.
Thank you so much for that too. So very quickly, also because of time, could we raise our hands if we have any questions for Dr. Osinigwe? Please, let's keep the questions short, interesting, so that the good doctor can respond to them also. Do we have any questions for him? Do we have any online questions? Okay. Please, thank you.
Thank you very much. The presentation, I saw you were really rushing so that we can save enough time. Very good. Nice one. The question I have for you, I enjoy the music, the rhythm, the sound, the percussion and all it takes. But my question is, what is the thesis you are advancing? The thesis of the paper. Yeah. That's all I need to know.
Yeah. like I said, it's just looking at how music is used as a tool, being used with a satirical kind of a technique to comment and discuss political happenings in Nigeria, which are contemporary things. Sometimes I was wondering how these people had this information. Is it that they can't read newspaper? But I know one thing, their senses are very, 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 so maybe they listen to radios, and because the kind of information they were bringing out, sometimes I myself, I didn't know that such thing were happening. But through that, the music, I was able to garner a lot of information hitherto was hidden. So it's about that ability to use their voice and the music to interact, to comment on the political scene in Nigeria. Yes. Prof wants to say. I don't know if I've answered you, ma'am. Yes, my recommendation is, yes, we need to speak in our own little way, not stay behind and complain. But what we do, people complain in the houses, and then election will come soon now. People, what's my business? I beg, consign me. We must be seen doing something. These videos are online, they are on YouTube. People, sometimes, who knows, you may get to the authority and they will see that, these people. And then maybe they may be taught that if these visually impaired people are complaining like this, maybe we need to take So that's my own take on the whole thing. I don't know if that's all right, sir.
Yeah, just a quick one. Yes. Can you say something just briefly about the satirical work that the music as opposed to the lyrics are doing? The lyrics, you concentrated on the lyrics.
Yeah.
That's clear.
Yeah. Because of time, I couldn't, because there were times they were doing personification, like Okoro-Awusa is like a derogatory name. His name is Okoro-Ocha, but they call him Okoro-Awusa. That means an Igbo person who is behaving like an Hausa man. So that's person, that's ridiculing that kind of a name. And there's also places that you say Nigeria Kagonka, saying this country is very old. In terms of people who are supposed to be behind or stay behind and project the youth, they are the one even on the throne taking decisions. Those kind of things. And you say Nigeria, new memory. That's Nigeria is bedwetting, and then it's defecating uncontrollably, because the problem is getting to. These are the things that we picked out to that look like satirical comments, but trying to paint. It's Igbo reading. You can see it is normal folk kind of things where you use simple melody. People can call and respond in. Okoro-Awusa, but people will respond. Okoro-Awusa, just simple kind of call and response technique to drive home their
Thank you
point.
so much, Dr. Osinigwe. We have a hand raised. One of our online participants has his hand raised. Mr. Adakwe, could you unmute your microphone and ask your question, please?
Yeah. Hello?
We can't hear you.
Hello?
Hello,
okay,
sir.
Yes, we can hear you now, Mr. Adakwe.
Yeah, that does sound like Dr. Adakwe. This is George Doe. I'm using his, I have a question. Thank you for your presentation. I was wondering whether James Scott's book on dominance and the arts of resistance, hidden transcripts, may have some relevance for your paper. Thank you.
Sorry. I don't know about that. He didn't say my name, so I don't know He was calling somebody else, so that's not for me. And noted, noted, sir. Yeah, for correction.
No, I just want to throw this in that there are several hot works which may help you enrich your paper. And that
Okay.
is one of them.
Okay, sir.
And that is also another one by Hot. Speaking for the Ochiame
Okay.
by Yanka.
Okay.
Kwesi Yanka. So thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, notes taken.
Yes, sir, please, you can go ahead with the question.
Thank you for that good presentation. I just want to ask, were you able to interact with those musicians?
Yeah, I said it at the beginning.
Now, from your interaction,
Yeah.
did you ask them the source of their information as you speculated?
Yeah, I did. It was part of the interview I had with the Isaac Promise is the head of the group. He said, visual impaired, they don't play without their small radio. One small battery radio like that. And any time you see them, they're like this, listening to and I guess that is where the tune to, and then most of them, when we were training them, most of them come from different parts of Nigeria. East, they are from Oji River in Enugu State. And that place has a lot of visually impaired persons there. And so, if they are in Lagos, they call home.
Dr. Osinigwe,
they
please,
get.
could you round off quickly?
Oh, all right.
Yes.
So they call home, they get information of what is happening there. And so with their radio, those are things that give them, that enough information for their music.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Osinigwe. You have a question online. Please, when you go online, please interact with Dr. Isola.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you so much. Please, could we give Dr. Osinigwe a round of applause? Thank you.